Hi, welcome to Yamtalk, the only podcast for yam lovers by yam lovers.
I'm keeping it. You got that far. You got that far into it.
I'm your host, John Michael.
And I'm the other host, Adam. Thanks for turning off your fucking phone.
I didn't know this was a turn your phone off social.
I don't know. It's not a big deal. I'm just, it was funny to say. Who the fuck daddy is?
That's my mom. I'm sorry. She wanted to make sure I got here okay.
Mama, John Michael, did you get here okay? Are you okay?
I don't know. I got a little lost in the woods.
It's okay.
Anyway, so on this podcast we're gonna be talking about yams.
Yams.
And to start us off, we'd like to give you some fun facts about yams.
Yeah. Did I already say my name?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll find out eventually. Maybe you'll just say it, casually, and people will go, oh, that's his name.
Hey, Giuseppe.
Giuseppe.
How you doing?
Maybe my name will be a mystery. Maybe.
Anywho,
Yeah.
so, just a couple of fun facts about yams.
No, I'm saying them.
Oh.
Let me say them when you
Fine,
text
well, I'm
your
going to text
mommy.
my mom. Go
Okay.
ahead.
So, first of all, to clear up this misconception, because it is a widespread misconception, here I'm reading off of foodreference.com, food trivia and food facts section about yams. And it says, and I quote, "Despite a physical similarity and a frequent confusion with their names, yams and sweet potatoes are not even distantly related. They are in two different botanical families, and yams are actually related to grasses and lilies."
What's a botanical family?
A family of plants?
Oh,
Like,
okay.
you know how they have domain,
Yep.
kingdom,
Okay.
I think that's it.
Uh-huh. I think I slept during that one.
I think you slept during all of them.
Probably.
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah, take a sip.
maybe for the sake, maybe we should maybe talk about our first experiences with yams when they kind of first came into our lives.
I actually don't think I've ever seen or held a yam in real life. Not even once.
Where did you first hear the mention of yams?
Well, let me tell you, man sitting here with me. Oh god, I don't know how to pronounce the author's name. But you see,
I believe it's...
don't even try.
The title of the book is Things Fall Apart by Chihuahua Adobe.
Okay, maybe we shouldn't air that part, but you know the book Things Fall Apart? I don't know if any of you had to read this in high school, but I do. It's not due yet. I'm 3 chapters in. And I couldn't help but notice a lot of talk about yams. And so I was sitting there at lunch, and this bitch, John Michael, asked me, he says, "Have you started reading Things Fall Apart yet?" And I said, "No." "What?" "No." I said, "Yes." Because, okay, I just thought of something. But anyways, I said, "Yes." And he goes, "What is it about so far?" And I said, "Well, I'm on chapter 3, and so far it's about nothing but yams." And 5 minutes later, we got the idea for what we're doing right here at this very moment. 3.5 minutes in. Feels like it's been
Jesus
40
Christ,
minutes.
we're only 3.5 minutes in. How long is an acceptable podcast? Like 45 minutes?
Maybe.
Oh, jeez.
I
Okay.
think we're gonna wing it.
All right.
I think we're gonna wing it.
Yeah, we're kind of... We came up with 10,000 ideas for this first one, and then naturally we're not following any of them.
I don't even think we wrote anything down.
Yeah, well, I think I wrote 4 things down on a piece of paper that is now lost to time.
Well, you should have been studying on your school work.
My first experience with the yams, I was a small boy. It's a rather traumatic experience.
I'm fucking cold. Excuse me.
Okay. I believe I was at the market with my father, and...
You have a dad?
Yeah, well, not anymore. He's dead now.
Oh,
That
sorry.
you kind of...
Sorry about that.
You kind of ruined the rest of the story. I was at
did
a...
I spoil it?
Yeah, you spoiled it. He died. I was at a market with my father, and he grabbed this yam, and he showed it to me, and
Oh no.
my father, he said, "Son, look at this yam."
Yeah? And then what happened?
And then, well, considering you kind of spoiled how he died, You kind of spoiled that he
Well,
died.
how
Well,
he
you
died.
said he died, okay. And my first traumatic experience involved a yam. He was shot by a cartel member while holding the yam. And then the cartel member choked on the yam.
Wait, okay. So let me run through this. I'm mapping this out in my head. So your dad grabbed a yam, and then he picked up. Was the grabbing of the yam in any way related to being shot by a cartel member?
Probably. I don't know. Well, I mean, probably not. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then he gets shot,
Yeah.
and the cartel member's first thought is, "I'm hungry. I want a yam." Or
Well,
maybe
you
he
see,
thought it was a sweet potato.
No, you see, listen. In Mexican culture, it's usually ceremonial that when you kill a person, you just eat what was ever in their hand at the time.
I feel like that could go very wrong.
It can. Unfortunately, I don't. You don't want to know what happened to my baby sister so long
she
ago.
was there?
Well, no, she was eaten prior to.
She was eaten.
Yes.
So
The same. Listen, there was a cartel member that ate the baby. And then he proceeded. The same cartel member who killed my father proceeded to eat the yam, and then he died while choking on the yam.
I'm sorry, this is hard to follow.
Ah.
I think you should. I think this needs to go straight to television.
Oh.
Lifetime could make a lot of
Well,
money.
yeah, I was about to say, can we put this on Lifetime?
Yeah. So that was your experience with yams?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
I didn't see a yam again for about 23 years.
Until.
I saw another yam in a market.
Now tell me that you didn't grab it. Please.
I was walking with my wife and daughter, and my wife said, "Look, a yam." And, well, I kind of stopped in the middle of the store, and, well, I started having my, regular flashback that happens whenever I see that certain member of the botanical family.
Yeah, not related to sweet potatoes.
Yeah, I found that's
whatsoever.
very interesting. I find it interesting that the sweet potato isn't actually related to the yam. You'd think it would be, but, I guess that is, like you said, a common misconception.
Very common.
So I'm glad we were able to clear that up for all 5 of our potential viewers.
4.5.
4.5? Oh my, that half must be...
Don't even want to think about it.
No.
Okay, wait. So what do you do when you see a sweet potato? Is there something in your brain that?
Through therapy, I've been able to kind of fix that issue with the sweet potatoes.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I don't know where you pulled that story from, but it managed to fill 2 minutes. So I'm very proud of you.
I'm pretty impressed because I'm pretty. I don't know it. I'm just letting words come out of my mouth.
Yeah.
I may slip up and accidentally I don't know, do something racist or sexist or I don't know. I'll pull a JonTron.
Oh.
Wait, we're not allowed. I'm sorry.
Okay.
We're calling out people on this podcast now. Starting YouTube drama.
YouTube drama.
This isn't going
about
SoundCloud
yams. Drama. Yeah. Okay. So things fall apart so far as all about yams. Something probably happens. The synopsis on the back says something about a white dude.
The title of the book is Things Fall Apart, so I would assume that at some point in the story, things don't go very well.
They go straight to the yams.
Yes.
It says he has put a knife on the things that held us together and we have fallen apart.
Oh, dear.
Which is that happens.
That reminds me a lot of the political discourse going on in the country right now. What do you think about that?
I think we're all gonna fucking die. But everybody start storing up your yams now because I hear they have carbohydrates.
Tell you about them politics.
You can run for miles with
You hear about this Trump guy?
Who?
This Trump guy?
Wait, do you know on Twitter how you can censor certain words and not see them on your feed? If you do?
No, I was not aware of that.
I censored Trump because I'm fucking sick of it.
You hear about this Trump guy?
Who?
This Trump guy.
Okay, so anyways. We have this. God, what else is there to talk about besides the M's? Is there any smooth transition into any of the topics we were thinking
So, Adam,
about?
you watch any bad horror movies from the 80s lately?
Wait, I'm thinking. Okay, I stopped thinking. Yes, I have watched some bad horror movies from
Might
the
they
80s.
by any chance be about ghost cars and starring Charlie Sheen
Yes,
for
and
like
starring
3
Charlie
minutes?
Sheen for 3 minutes. Do you think they had yams on set for that movie?
No, they definitely didn't have yams on set.
Oh, that's really sad.
So today we're going to be talking about Wraith,
Wraith?
a 1986 film directed by. Hey Adam, who is the director of Wraith the
That's
1986?
That's a good. Why did I don't think you should have searched Wraith the. Oh, I mean, I don't think you should have asked me Wraith the because I'm not going to understand what movie you're talking about because it's an inside joke.
Adam, I do have an interesting question. Who is the director of The Wraith?
1986.
Oh no, it auto-corrected to race.
The Race.
Who is the director of The Wraith?
I mean, it was kind of a race.
Jesus Christ, this isn't working.
You know what? Why don't we summon the powers of film knowledge?
Well, I don't think we need to do that because the director of The Wraith from 1986, starring Charlie Sheen, is actually Mike Marvin.
Mike Marvin.
Yes.
Never.
Let's say if you were to Google search him, other people that may also come up and recommended would be Matthew Barry, Jamie Bozian, David Sherrill, Griffin O'Neill. Oh, it's a very flattering picture of a griffin.
But let's talk about Charlie Sheen.
You want to talk about Charlie Sheen now?
Sure.
I heard the guy went a little crazy.
Oh my God! I think he's a nice man. Oh fuck! The adhesive on my headphone is falling off, so I'm just gonna be picking at that the whole entire fucking time. I don't know where that went.
Where are we at? 11 and a half minutes?
Yeah. Just like things in Africa, this podcast is falling apart. But we don't have any yams.
So anyway, The Wraith is a movie, all right.
Okay, so what can you remember about it?
Well, I
remember the drag race part.
I remember every single drag race. So basically, the movie is about these teenagers, and I don't know where it is, some desert somewhere. They don't
I
actually
think New Mexico.
Yeah, it's probably New Mexico, and they just like drag race everywhere.
Yeah.
Like that's how the social hierarchy works. It's not based on class or how much money you make or like race or sex. It's all about who can win in a drag race.
Yes.
And apparently some years prior, Charlie Sheen died in a drag race. I think I just spoiled the whole movie, but you know, it's fine.
I mean, what kind of a twist was that anyways?
So, one night, just a normal New Mexico night, there's this big shiny light in the sky, and it crashes into the ground.
Wait, is that what happened?
I'm pretty sure, yeah, because then, like, out of the really bad, like, effect of this light just comes this phantom car.
Uh-huh.
And the phantom car starts racing the teenagers who are drag racing. And it's kind of interesting because the same thing for every single drag race happens. They'll all be like racing and then like every other car will fall behind except for one of the teenagers.
Oh, yeah.
And then the ghost car. And then it's around that point when some really bad rock music, like just like stock rock music starts playing.
From the 80s.
Yeah, from the 80s.
Yeah.
So you know it's pretty shit. Anyway,
so
every single time they like race and it gets like super tense, and then for whatever reason one of the cars always explode in like 12,000 different angles, and it's pretty glorious actually.
Yeah.
And then the car just kind of disappears, like it drives off and it literally just like fades into nothing. It's pretty surreal. It's on Netflix.
Probably still.
Yeah, it probably still is. It's one of those movies where it's just like dripping with the 80s vibe.
Yeah.
And it's not like artificial 80s vibe because it was literally made in 1986 on a budget of what I was assuming like a ham sandwich and a piece of string.
Maybe a button or like a not even a gift card to like Chipotle or Taco Bell, but
well,
like
I don't think they had
coupon.
Chipotle back then.
Well, I don't think you're qualified.
Okay.
I think it also, the movie wasn't like self-aware at all.
Oh, it definitely wasn't. I believe that our favorite point was when the ambulance was coming on screen, and I guess they didn't know how to use a video camera, because as the ambulance is coming on screen, you can clearly tell that the letters on the letters on the ambulance are backwards.
They were
so like everything
flipped.
is actually reversed to what it should be, and they just didn't even notice.
I don't know how they did that. It was like if you wrote ambulance on a piece of paper and then put it in front of a mirror is what it looked like. And I don't know if that's like what ambulances actually looked like in the 80s. They just mirror flipped all the words.
Yes, that's pretty much how everything was in the 80s.
So you couldn't even read anything in the 80s, or maybe you just had to learn the alphabet but backwards. Maybe everyone in the 80s was actually.
Unfortunately, though, everybody who lived during the 80s is now passed away. Sadly.
Yeah, like your dad.
Well,
Grab the yam.
you really are a son of a bitch. You know that? You're really gonna bring that up? I mean, seriously? Like, okay, fine. I'll just bring up that your grandpa was a Nazi.
Son of a.
Would you like to tell us that story?
I'll tell the tale. Okay, so not even this part. What?
I think I just spit up the iced tea I was drinking. You tell the story. I'm gonna go clean up
Do
myself.
you need a nap, Ken? Or I have a Taco Bell wrapper on the floor.
Just tell the Nazi story.
Okay, so a
jeez.
couple summers ago, my grandma moved in with us, and with her came like a shit ton of artifacts and stuff of like old computers, and there was a couple boxes, and she was like really big in a church, so we had a bunch of church stuff, right?
I just bought
And-
this book today.
Oh, Hitchhiker's Guide?
Yes.
It's really fucking good.
I'm sorry.
Okay. So, oh yeah, she came in. We didn't know where to put all of her shit. It was all kind of in the garage. And one day over the summer, I think it was, like last summer, not 2 summers ago when she moved in, but last summer. So this thing had been in there for a year before I found it. I was just in the garage, like you do, for whatever, and I looked in a box, and there was this knife in it. And I said, oh, it wasn't a knife, it was like a dagger, and it was old, and it was rusty, and I probably have 3 cases of tetanus right now from touching it. But I picked it up, and I took it in, and I don't know, like I was fascinated by it, and I read on the side, like on the blade, it said something in German, it said blah blah Deutschland on it, and I went, oh, so this is a German dagger. Well, I know my family is German because I am lay white, and
Yes, all white people are Germans, if you were unaware of that.
obviously, and then so I did more translating, and it said all for Germany on it. And then one of my friends, well, a person that I know, after I put it on my fucking story on Snapchat, he said, are you selling this? And I said, no.
Is it who I think it is?
Yes, it's who you think it is. Yeah.
It's him.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
So, I said, no, I'm not selling it. And then I ended up doing research with this bozo over here. And
Hi.
apparently it's
And
actually...
by research, I mean I sat there and Googled it.
You sat there and Googled it, and it was the night that I found it and showed it to you, and then I wrote on Sharpie on the side doucheland on it, because it was like DOOSHLAN, and I wrote it on it, and you went, wait, what if this is worth money? And you Googled it and then laughed at me for like 6 minutes, because you could have sold this for hundreds of dollars, and you wrote doucheland on it in Sharpie.
Here's one authentic dagger from Doucheland.
Yeah, and I went, oh...
Are you skipping? You're kind of skipping the part that's an SS Nazi dagger.
Oh, I thought that was like implied by all the
I
Germany
guess.
stuff.
Well, I mean, it doesn't mean Nazis.
I guess I'm ignorant.
You are, of course. You just offended all the Nazis listening to our podcast.
Oh no.
I'm sorry, Nazis.
Oh no. Yeah, there's yeah, it was very Nazi. It was an SS knife, and it wasn't. Pretty sure it never stabbed anybody, because
Pretty sure.
it looks clean. I mean, I never like tasted it for blood or anything, but
I would hope you never rubbed your tongue on that.
why? Okay. But apparently, I think it was used for when there were Nazi rallies in the 40s. A person would take the knife and they would like bodyguard with it, like it would be in a belt or something. And it was never used in a camp, I'm pretty sure, just at those rallies. And like we have rallies nowadays of like Nazi rallies, and that's not good. Maybe that's not good. We should stop that.
Here on Yamtalk, we only talk about the most
Forgot it was
relevant
It was called
political
Yamtalk.
topics.
Yeah.
Really, if you ever... We're kind of like the Young Turks.
Don't fucking say that.
We're really good liberal, talk show hosts.
I don't have
podcasters.
a political agenda.
If you ever want to quote Mr. Adam here, just remind him, or just use the quote that Nazi rallies are really, really not good.
Is that what I said?
I don't know.
Okay.
Are we gonna sit here and listen to this when it's over?
If you have time for that.
I mean, we can do whatever.
I believe we have time for that. Because I have time for that. And I'm going to be doing that. And I'm going to keep filling up dead air by saying the same thing over and over again until you think of something else to say. Were we talking about the Wraith? Wait,
we were talking about Wraith.
We were in the middle of that.
Why do we call it Wraith? Oh yeah, okay. We also call it Wraith because on the title screen, it's the word Wraith, and under it is the word the.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing you also didn't understand sentence structure.
Like I don't know about you, but I read left to right and up to down, not down to up. Do you ever look at a book and look at the bottom of the page first? I don't think so.
I actually do.
Why do you do that?
My father never taught me to read a book.
What is with you and your dad?
He's dead.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
This.
Is he gonna listen to this?
Yeah,
cool.
I hope so. I love you, Dad. Wherever you may be.
21 minutes. I need to learn how to speak English.
I see you don't understand sentence structure either.
Shut the fuck up. I need to stop bookmarking these times because we just have to. Dude, you coughed right into the microphone. You did that. Okay, so what happens next? Charlie Sheen dies.
Charlie Sheen didn't die in them. See, okay, so we don't know Charlie Sheen's Wraitha till the end of the movie.
We don't know Charlie Sheen.
He's literally the only person who could be the Wraith. And he kind of just shows up to this diner at one point and starts hitting on this chick. And then he leaves for, like, the next 45 minutes. So you're kind of just like, I wonder who he is and what his importance in the story is. So basically... Sorry.
Bronchitis.
Most of the film is basically just the Wraith brutally murdering a bunch of teenagers who wanted to drive fast cars.
Yeah.
Until I think it gets one point to the end of the movie where he like blows up an entire warehouse where the teenagers hung out. I just
remember that's like collateral fucking damage. That's a big deal.
Yeah, and then so it gets this one guy pissed, and then I think Charlie Sheen races, like actual Charlie Sheen, not in Wraith form.
Like final boss
races
form.
The
Charlie
final
Sheen.
Boss, who I believe was Neil Breen, actually.
Oh my god, that's a whole.
And then Neil Breen explodes, and then Charlie Sheen like drives off into heaven on his motorcycle or something with the girl diner. I'm pretty sure I just got every aspect of that plot wrong. All I know is that there was a lot of drag racing and explosions.
Yeah.
Really the two takeaways I have from that movie was the drag race and explosions, and then the one chick, the diner chick Charlie Sheen had sex with had like...
You don't know that. What if they had a wholesome Catholic relationship?
Yes.
Really,
the only way you could participate in a wholesome Catholic relationship is by dry humping each other completely naked inside of a hot tub or a hot spring. I'm pretty sure they were in the middle of the woods. I don't know. All I remember is that she had like... I don't even remember what I was going to say.
Me either. Wait,
the pepperoni. Yeah, the pepperoni nips.
Oh yeah, her nipples were fucking huge. I'm sorry, that actress is probably not even anywhere in the range of this audio recording.
Well,
right
like
now,
we
but
said,
I'm
everybody who was
apologizing.
born and anybody who lived during the 80s is no longer with us.
Yeah, she's dead, so she doesn't care. But, yeah, I saw those and I
He
thought,
found them very, very intriguing and confusing.
Yeah, it's the same way that you walk in and everything is moved 2 inches to the left and you can't explain the uneasy feeling you have, but you know it's there. It was that kind of feeling.
Okay.
Have you ever had that?
No.
Oh.
I can't say I've ever walked into a room where everything were 2 inches to the left.
I did that with my yam once. I misplaced it 2 inches to the left, and I've
Your
never.
ham?
My yam.
Oh, your yam.
What is this fucking podcast called again?
Yamtalk.
Yeah.
Ham
Yamtalk. Yamtalk.
Today we talk about ham.
Let's look up a fun and interesting fact about.
Yeah,
ham.
we're gonna look at another fun fact about yams because we're kind of we ran out of stuff to talk about.
Hey, that's not true.
Okay.
I'm still here.
All right, I'm sorry.
I don't know.
The water yam, commonly cultivated in Southeast Asia, grows up to 8 feet long and can weigh over 100. Jesus Christ, 100 pounds?
How do you get a yam that's 8 feet long?
That's.
How long is? Do we have a tape measure in here? No, we
I,
just
I thought you were about to say, "Do we have a yam in here?"
do we have a yam on set?
I'd like to point out that our recording studio is. It's a pretty high tech recording studio. We have like the top equipment that you can really buy off the market.
It's my room. This
Really like you really like ruining the whole like mystery. Oh my god, I was just sexually assaulted.
I'm assaulting you with tape.
Oh my gosh. Okay, that's enough.
Hey, put my pocket knife down. I got that in California. But I wasn't there, but my mom was. Wait, no. This is a high. Oh, jeez. Okay. This is resorted to violence. I feel like we need a nuclear holocaust. Anyways, what was it saying?
Something about your mom in California.
Were you in a recording studio? This microphone was a gift.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, also in the Wraith, I think it's funny how everyone had these like 80s cars that showed up and they were regular cars. Like they were drag race cars that you would see on the scene if you were drag racing. And then the Wraith shows up in this 2000s Hunger Games ass car that's like
Did they have cars in the Hunger Games?
maybe
I think I must have read over that chapter.
in Pan Am in the future society. They
If
have
I
these-
remember correctly, I believe it was the scene where oh, you know what, I do remember. It was right after. Now I don't know if this is spoiler alert for Hunger Games, but I mean you probably read it by now. I do remember correctly. Katniss Everdeen was holding the little girl Rue as she was dying, and she was singing the whistle song, and it was a very sad scene, of course. But if you look very closely in the background, you can actually see Thorough, the black guy.
You tried 3 times.
Thresh. It was
Thresh.
Thresh. You could clearly see Thresh driving in a muscle car.
He was driving a Maserati. Is that a muscle car?
I don't believe that's a muscle
You want a new
car.
Bugatti? You want a Maserati? You better work, bitch. And then that song started.
I believe that was Hunger Games. I think that was the movie I was watching.
What a fucking low blow. You referenced the Rue part. That probably...
Offended all 4 people watching it?
Yes.
Okay. Or listening to it?
Yes. 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 Yeah, he had a really fancy car and nobody seemed to... They went, oh, nobody even thought it might have been like a government agent trying to crack down on teenage drag racing because that car was suspiciously futuristic and that car was not
Well,
something...
I mean, the best way to punish teenagers is by brutally killing them in an explosion.
I mean, that happens to me. Sometimes when I screw up, the cops go, well, we gotta blow you up now.
All I remember, my favorite character from the movie is...
The guy with the pom-pom on his head?
what was his name? The guy... Jesus.
How are you supposed to remember any names from that movie? Everything
wasn't-
kind of happened.
He's the brother of a director, and I can't remember who.
Who? Oh, wow. What is this lore that
He looked like a peanut.
Uh-huh.
Do you know who I'm talking about?
Is it the dude that we were comparing to the
Ron
one
Howard. Ron Howard's brother
who
is in the movie.
What's his name? Derek Howard. Jeffrey Howard, but not Jeffgeoff.
Because Ron Howard even looks like him.
Is anyone else disturbed by how you can spell Jeff like Geoff? Does that bother you?
Or you could just... No, not really.
Geoff? That doesn't bother you at all?
No.
Let me guess, your
Oh,
dad.
it was Clint Howard. This guy.
Oh.
You remember him?
Yeah, I do. Stupid dummy. Oh my god, that's...
Kind of like the guy, if you like... He looks like the kind of guy... Yeah,
You had a Slim Jim, didn't you?
maybe.
I can tell.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Do you want me to pull it out?
Where is it? Stored? In your stomach acids? I don't think so. I have a crippling fear of authority. So I would never be drag racing like the kids in that movie.
I don't know if I'd call the kids in the movie authoritative.
No, I have a crippling fear of like the cops finding out.
Oh,
Like,
you're scared of the police?
yes. I'm scared of the police, even though I don't even do anything wrong. Like,
I don't know.
what are you trying to say?
I think
Just-
you are you're illegal.
Just because I have a Nazi dagger under my dresser right now, I think
Well,
it's
no,
very
it's
weird.
not. It's not illegal to be in. It's not illegal to be a Nazi. It's illegal to collect rainwater. Have you ever collected rainwater?
Is it actually illegal?
It is actually illegal.
Oh my god, I put a cup out in the rain
You
once.
son of a bitch.
Holy fuck, I'm going the fuck to jail. Hey, the water yams, do you remember those?
The ones that, if I remember correctly, can weigh over 100 pounds.
That was messed up.
That's wild.
I
Yeah.
cried a little bit.
Oh man, yams. They're.
Hey girl, wanna get this little suckle on my water yam?
I'm sorry. Do you want to try that again? I
Oh
couldn't
my
quite pick
god,
up.
suckle on my water yam. Like if you let's get rid of all the tried and true expressions for weenuses and peeners. Let's call them water yams from now on. Because that's pretty easy.
Speaking of yams, have you heard of the movie Ready Player One yet?
I have heard of it.
Like, have you seen any trailers for this movie?
I've seen the trailers and they're annoying.
They look like it is literally a movie that's relying completely on like references to other things.
Yeah.
Like I don't even like I'll be honest, I know it's based off a book. I haven't read the book and I haven't watched the movie, but just looking at the trailers and like hearing reviews about it and then seeing like real small clips, it's literally a movie that's like 10% original content and 90% relying on references that other people will understand.
It's stupid too, because you know what else bothers me is that it has to be set in a dystopian future. It just
Like
has to
everything.
be, because it's 2018 and we need more movies like that, apparently.
And it's funny too because from my understanding, the book was written with all basically. I think the story is like this guy created this like VR world that everybody's called the Oasis that everybody spends all their time in, and he's hidden an Easter egg or something, and whoever can find it inherits like $500 billion and becomes the owner of the Oasis or something like that. And in the book, I guess he completely used like 80s references for people to like solve them and get it. But because this is a movie made in 2018, they thought, you know what we should do is put a bunch of modern references in it so the kids will like it.
No.
So literally like there's like so many video game characters running around. Tracer from Overwatch is like one of the people. And I'm like, I don't think Ernest Cline had this in mind when he made this.
I need a second.
Tracer from Overwatch.
That's so bad.
I think Deadpool's running around.
Don't put that in a movie. Well, put Deadpool in a movie because he has a movie, but don't put Tracer in a movie. Are they gonna make Overwatch a movie?
I don't know. I don't really care about Overwatch.
Me either.
It's glorified TF2.
I lost all my friends to Overwatch.
Uncontroversial, or actually, that's a controversial opinion.
Is it really? No, I think a lot of people think that.
Really, Overwatch has a huge fan base.
Oh, does it?
Oh, it's ginormous.
Oh,
Is that a
man.
word? I don't even know if that's a word.
That makes me sad because I can imagine
Yeah,
a lot
Overwatch.
of the people.
Plus, Overwatch is esport too. It's like one of the biggest esports
Oh
right now.
no!
It's huge.
Dude, okay, I'm really bad at letting people enjoy things, so I'm just gonna say this. Like, I can imagine over half the fan base is, like, disgusting to watch. Like,
Probably.
you know those Minecon cringe compilations?
Ooh, that's so bad.
I can imagine that. For
Here on
Overwatch.
Yamtalk, we only cover the most interesting gaming news in gaming media.
Gaming news. This isn't news. Overwatch is fucking cringy, and Ready Player
Who cares
One is
about
probably
Overwatch
bad.
anymore? All that really matters right now is Battle Royale. That's
Oh,
what every game's going
That's a
on about.
big thing. You know what? I like that though because
PUBG and Fortnite.
I like the idea of Battle Royale.
I also like the idea of Battle Royale, and I think PUBG was the first one to kind of really like bring it in. Like PUBG
Yeah.
got really popular, and then there was Fortnite. But I refuse to play Fortnite simply because of the Snapchat wins.
Oh my!
It's turned me off
fucking
of
God.
Fortnite forever.
Oh my god! There will be nights where it's one after another, winner, fucking chicken dinner #1, and I think, oh, cool. I don't. It's weird because I'm so disconnected from it, but I like the idea. But again, I'm so disconnected from it because I know I'd be bad at those games, and I don't even want to try.
It's just one of those. It's one of the first times where I see something getting super popular that I have nothing, like no interest in.
Yeah.
Like the Fortnite YouTube community is
Oh
absolutely
my fucking
insane.
God, is
My
that
favorite
hell?
video, yeah.
It's hell.
My favorite video is top 5 Fortnite YouTubers who've sworn. It's pretty great, honestly. I watched it. It was pretty priceless. And I've noticed a lot of these people who do these like Fortnite YouTube channels, for one thing, are very new, only covering Fortnite stuff, but have like millions of subscribers within such a short time.
Yeah.
And they're all scammers. They all do these like quote unquote gift card giveaways that is clearly just trying to like draw in young children to, and every
Spend
time
their parents' money.
pretty much, not even that, but like one of the things, pretty much what all of these do, say it's like download this app and play this game for a certain amount of seconds,
Who the fuck
and you'll
that
be
is?
entered for a drawing for a free gift card. And it's clearly just trying to get more like traffic for whatever app they want them to download, and then they get like a small portion of the income.
That's depressing.
It is.
Life's a fucking scam. Like, you take this thing that people enjoy, and it gets so popular on a fucking, like, international, maybe global, probably global scale, that people start to exploit it, and that happens with everything. Because isn't it so weird how you take a property that you love so much and you think, wow, I'd love it if more people knew more about this and it was popular, but you think back to the things that are beloved but got really popular, like Minecraft and Fortnite, and you see how twisted it's gotten and you think, oh, never mind, I don't want anyone else to fucking touch this.
And it's crazy how different they become. Because I've been following. Fortnite has been in production since like 2012, and the battle royale is something that was just created basically. Fortnite was initially supposed to be like a tower defense game where you and like three other people like defend your tower from like zombies or monsters or whatever. And then they've been in production with that for like ever. And then PUBG got real popular. And then Epic Games was like, oh, we should bank in on that. So then they just created the Battle Royale mode. Basically, they just took one of the existing maps, took all the monsters out of it, and just put, let's just make it 100 players and have them all kill each other. And then we'll get really popular. To the point where I think the mode was called, the main mode they were working on was called Save the World. Basically, it's gotten to the point where they've given up on it and they're just relying on microtransactions in the game.
Fuck's sake. Everything's a cash cow. Everything. Are we ever going to sell out? Is Yamtalk ever going to sell out?
Today on Yamtalk, we'd like to introduce our special sponsor,
Audible.com.
Brisk Iced Tea.
I shouldn't have yelled like in that audio.
I hope you know that's probably just ear rape.
Yeah, I'm going to have to get that.
Today on
That's
Yamtalk,
37 minutes and... Oh, yeah.
we become an ASMR channel.
I'm not fucking touching that. Except... Oh, man. Those... Okay. Should we talk about that?
Talk about what?
ASMR?
Oh, we could talk about AMSR. It makes me super uncomfortable.
Excuse me?
What?
AMSR?
Did I say AMSR?
You did say
ASMR, whatever. Fucking weeb.
Well, listen. I listen to it to fall asleep. But I have seen some of those thumbnails and they're really unsettling. There is one video I saw on my recommended that said, touching all your sensitive places, ASMR, and I screamed for 20 minutes. It was...
ASMR just makes me really uncomfortable.
I can see that.
I get it's like a thing people have, and watching them can trigger it for you. But like
Yeah.
from experience, I can tell you that if you're not somebody who triggers to ASMR, then you're definitely not into ASMR because it's just weird.
Yeah. Oh, and I can say I used to have it ever since I was a kid, like really in small doses. And ever since I started watching it on YouTube over and over and over again, it's killed those nerve endings or whatever it is, and I can't feel it anymore. So now it's strange.
Now you just watch to go to bed, or listen to it to go to bed.
Yeah, I listen to meditations, which really help. I listened to one today.
I listen to Resonance on loop until I go to bed.
That's good.
Yeah.
I respect that. Bro, let's talk about Vaporwave.
Oh my god. If you're not listening to Vaporwave...
You are not alive.
It's funny because Vaporwave started off as basically a meme.
Mm-hmm.
It's something you make fun of. And then, like, once you actually sit down, just put headphones on, listen to Vaporwave, it is one of the most just...
Well, they need recommendations, don't they? People listening to this? Okay, so first of all, you have Home, which everybody
Home's
knows
not
about.
necessary. Home isn't really a good example of Vaporwave. It's a lot more synthwave.
Synthwave, yeah.
If you're not like, I feel like with Vaporwave, you'll know if you'll like it. Like if you jump right into it and you like it, great. But like sometimes you have to ease into it, and synthwave is a good place to start with that because synthwave is kind of more mainstream-ish.
It's the gateway drug to vape.
Yeah, it's basically the gateway drug to.
It's weed.
Yeah. synthwave is marijuana.
I
Basically.
have so many fucking. Okay, so first of all, okay, there's this one. I don't know. There's an artist called Gloom Cult, but instead of a U, it's a V, and I think what they do is they slow down commercial jingles and put a beat to it, and they're really good. And then there's a YouTuber.
I'm sorry, I just opened my phone and literally just Clint Howard's face is the first thing I see immediately staring
Is
at
it
me.
mean to say that it's a really scary picture of him?
Oh no.
Like, it's unsettling.
Have you ever seen the author of The Giving Tree?
No.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You need to pull that
go,
up.
Go ahead and keep giving them your recommendations, though.
Okay, so talked about Gloom Cult. There's a YouTuber called Jason Sanders or Saunders, I can't remember.
Jack Stauber? Wait, no. You
No,
need to listen to Jack Stauber.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'll get to that later. Go on.
He makes Vaporwave mixes that are about an hour and a half long, and my favorite one is the Dollar Menu Vaporwave mix. It's so good. And then there's... I had another one. Maybe I didn't. Oh, yeah. There's one called 2814-2814. I don't know. It's less Vaporwave and more really ambient shit. Their songs are like 10 minutes long, and it's really slowed down, and it's stuff I like write to and stuff that I fall asleep to, and it's really good, and I think that's all my recommendations for that.
Honestly, I'll listen to Vaporwave, but I don't have any like one particular person I'll listen to. I'm definitely. I'll listen to basically any kind of Vaporwave in general, but I mostly like synthwave. And again, Home is one of those. Personally, my favorite synthwave artist. Resonance alone. That's probably their most popular song. Is just one of my all-time favorite songs. I'd say like my second favorite song of all time, probably. Decay is another really good one. Orc Cloud, which I think I first heard from you, was really good. But overall, if you want to get into Home, I just listen to the Odyssey album. It's on Spotify, or you could just listen to the whole thing on YouTube for free.
I think it's their best.
It is probably I think they have 2 other albums. One's like Unresting State or something. I forget the other, but
whatever.
yeah, what he said. Oh, so I don't know if you've ever heard of The Giving Tree. It's probably one of the most popular children's.
Wait, wasn't that the dude who wrote Where the Sidewalk Ends? Was that him? Because I know
Shel
what he looks.
Silverstein.
Did he write The Giving Tree?
Yes.
So I know what he looks like.
The bearded guy.
And I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
This guy.
Yep. Yep. I know because there was the part in Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Yep. I always thought so. There's in the Diary of a Wimpy Kid book, he talks about how he was like scarred by the picture of Shel Silverstein on the Giving Tree book. And when I was younger, I didn't think it was real. Like I thought that was something made up for the book. But today, for one of my classes, I need to like read a picture book to these preschoolers. So I'm like looking for picture books at Barnes and Nobles, and I come across The Giving Tree, and I'm like, oh, this looks like a cute one, and I've heard of it, blah blah blah. And I'm reading through it, and I'm like, oh, you know what? This seems like a good one. I close the book. And on the back of the book, I'm greeted by Shel Silverstein's face. Now, they could have picked a more flattering picture of this man, but they go for a black and white photo. Now, I just want to point out, he is a bald man with a very bushy beard. They don't pick a flattering picture of him. They kind of take a picture of him where they, like, caught him in the act of spying on somebody, so he looks, like, vaguely unsettled. It's very disturbing, and it's so big on the back of the book too. It's not like a tiny picture followed by about the author. It's literally this half, like it takes up most of the back of the book. It's pretty terrifying. So I just ended up getting Where the Wild Things Are instead. Because I'm like, I'm not showing this to a bunch of preschoolers. They're gonna
because
shit
of
their
the
pants.
one picture.
I'd have to put like duct tape over it or something. It's genuinely terrifying.
I mean,
He doesn't look like a man who should be writing kids' books. He looks like a man who should be getting arrested for like sexual assault.
Well, that's why we don't judge the book by the cover, or rather the back of the book by the cover.
I can confirm that The Giving Tree is not about sexual assault.
Isn't it?
Maybe, actually. I don't know. I never read The Giving Tree.
I read it. It's about a kid who keeps going to a tree, and the
Oh,
tree
yeah,
keeps...
he's a little shit.
Yeah.
Because he keeps being a dick. He's like, give me all your shit. And then the tree's like, okay.
You watched the College Humor sketch.
I did watch the College Humor sketch.
You didn't read it.
No. When I was standing there, I was flipping through the book, and I'm like, so, okay, the only knowledge I had beforehand were from two sources. Let me rephrase it. The only knowledge I had of the Giving Tree was from two sources. One was from the Diary of a Wimpy Kid book, and the other was from the College Humor video. Now, I can confirm that the College Humor video was definitely not a reliable one, because I'm pretty sure that ended with the tree, like, being in court.
Testifying against
or the kid was testifying against him. He had, like, a gun in the tree or something like that, and it ended with the tree getting cut down with a chainsaw.
Yeah.
And then the guy asking the tree for, like, $50.
I think it was a story about, the tree kept giving the boy stuff and he kept growing up, or was it? No.
Yeah, that's what was happening, and like, I remember it ended. He's like, I don't like this place. Give me a boat. And the tree was like, oh, you could just cut me down and turn me into a boat, because why the fuck not? So he cuts her down and takes her away. It was pretty funny, but it was pretty depressing at the same time.
Yeah.
The line in the story was like, and the tree was happy.
Oh,
but
yeah,
not
that's
really.
It.
And then it ends with him coming as like an old guy, like probably nearing death. And he's like, I just want to rest. And it's just a tree stump at this point. She's like, you can just sit on my stump. And then that's how the story ends.
You can just sit on my stump. Wow.
And I'm just like, that's not a fun kid story. That's like super depressing. So again, that's why I got Where the Wild Things Are, because it's not a depressing story by somebody who's probably a sexual assault.
Well, probably asexual assault.
Yes.
Here's the thing about that. Okay, first of all, The Giving Tree probably is a book about like unconditional love or something, which I think is a crock of shit. But anyways, so you have that, and then you have the fact
that was a very subtle way of putting your opinion into something.
Which I think is a crock of shit. I think that the way you said, oh, it was too depressing, so I didn't read it to kids. I think that kids' media needs more depressing stuff. Because I really... Here's an unpopular opinion. You thought not liking Overwatch was unpopular. I don't like Disney movies. Like, any of them. Because the way they're so sappy and gooey and fucking like happy endings and shit, it's a bad representation of life, I feel. And I think you need a healthy balance of... I mean, I could probably actually watch the Disney movies, because there are moments in the movies where they go through struggles and shit, and it's like real life. But the way that all of them end happy... And the way that a lot of them end with, like, morals and themes about, oh, love and stuff, it makes me sick to watch, because if you put this stuff in front of kids, they're going to think that all of life is like this, because you know how kids' minds work. Like, kids are dumb. And I think we need more media that shows a more realistic side of life.
I definitely agree. I mean, obviously, it's Disney. It's always going to have a happy ending. They're a juggernaut in media or whatever. But it is definitely good that kids know how to deal with, like, serious issues at a young age. And I don't know so much about movies, but I know there are a lot of shows out there that, like, cover those serious topics. A lot of them do it in a really bad way. Like, there's an episode of Captain Planet where, like, there's a guy who brainwashes everybody to do drugs. And then this one kid, like, ODs on drugs or something like that because of, like, these magic wizards or something.
The magic drug wizards?
The magic drug wizards.
Nice. Well, the thing about Disney also is, like you said, there's such a big media juggernaut, and it's practically not their fault anymore, because... Once you're so well known on a global scale, you have to start pleasing everybody if you want to make money. They can't, like, there's no room for changing a status quo in a way.
Well, they definitely are. They're not, I mean, you saw they bought Marvel and Star Wars, which are like at the time, were two of the biggest franchise things ever.
Yeah, they're only getting bigger.
And they're only getting bigger with Avengers 7 and then the Star Wars, I believe they're doing a Snaggletooth standalone movie. I don't know who Snaggletooth is, but he's getting his own movie. You know, I hope they give every single Star Wars character their own standalone movie. Max Rebo, the fat blue elephant who had like 2 seconds of screen time.
I
want to see a standalone movie of him.
I was just about to say, what about the blue guy from the desert or whatever? Cause
I want to see. I found it very interesting. Now I'm a gigantic Star Wars nerd. I'm a huge Star Wars nerd. I honestly I unironically know just about everything there is to tell you about Star Wars. And one of my absolute favorite things ever is that if you can see if it's seen on screen, then it has a backstory. And my favorite example of this is in Star Wars: A New Hope, the band playing dun 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 dun. Yeah, I don't know how to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. The species that plays the music is called Bith. But that's not. Listen. That's not the funny part. That's not the funny part. The genre of music they play is called jizz. But it gets better because
it can't.
No, it does.
It can't.
Because the genre of music they play is called jizz, then since they're the ones that play it, they are called jizz whalers. Everything in this Star Wars franchise has a backstory.
Where did you hear that?
On a YouTube channel. A Star Wars lore YouTube channel.
Are you sure
Yes.
that the video wasn't uploaded on April 1st?
No, they're actually called... Listen, I'm going to bring up Wikipedia, and I'm going to show you the entry for jizz whalers.
Wait. Well, while you do that, allow me to clear up more shit with Disney. Okay, so people might say that, well, yeah, the world is shitty, and that's why you need a break from stuff with, feel-good media, which, duh. But I think that when every single consecutive movie back and forth is happy ending, all smiles, fun for the family, bullshit, that it's a little bit poisoning. But except the Hunchback of Notre Dame was kind of fucked up. But
See, I always hear that one's really good, and I never actually watched it. I wasn't a Disney kid. I never really watched Disney movies when I was younger. I watched, the iconic ones. I'd watch Lion King. And...
I mean, it's a good movie, objectively, but it's, it's...
Yeah.
And, I mean, that one is a little dark in the middle.
I mean, you get the part where his dad dies, and then Scar becomes, Grand Admiral Overlord of Africa. Or something like that.
And then Toto comes out.
You knew that was gonna come up at some point in this fucking podcast.
Oh yeah.
If you don't know, Toto.
Africa by Toto. I do the same thing.
Is arguably the greatest thing ever created by man. I'm sorry, did I say arguably? I mean it.
Indefinitely.
It is. It is the greatest piece of anything ever created by anybody.
It's in my top 3 songs.
It's my number 3 favorite song.
My top 3 exists in an equilibrium of Africa, Little Dark Age by MGMT, and Residence by Home.
Yeah, mine's is Africa by Toto, Resonance by Home, and then What I Got by Sublime.
That's the one.
The reprise from their self-titled album.
The one that was in Saints Row.
No, the one at Saints Row is in... The one that's in Saints Row the Third is the regular version of it, which, I mean, obviously that's the one I knew first, and that's the one I loved. But then when I actually got the self-titled Sublime album, I noticed they had the reprise. I'd never heard the reprise, and I listened to it, and it's great. By the way, a jizz whaler was a musician who specialized in playing jizz songs. Max Rebo and his band, that's the Blue Elephant
How's
band.
it's actually spelled like Jizz.
Yes, of course.
Wow.
Is often played popular jizz whaler standards. If you want any sources from that, you can read the Star Wars Return of the Jedi Junior novelization. The fact that the term jizz whaler comes from a junior novelization, I find pretty funny.
Wow. So they really got away with that.
Yeah.
Calling it jizz, and it's a part of Disney now. Disney owns
canon.
Disney owns a property where in its canon there's a musical group of jizz whalers that play jizz.
That's the other annoying thing about Disney buying Star Wars. So I'm gonna nerd out on something that I know you won't care about.
Yeah, I'll sit back.
But before Disney bought Star Wars, there was already just a huge amount of backstory and lore about what happens after Return of the Jedi. And, that was, and other stuff that happened before and between all those movies. And that was pretty much loved by the fan base as a whole. So then Disney comes in and buys Star Wars, and then they basically completely just destroy all of that expanded universe that happened by calling it Legends, so that none of none of it is like canon anymore.
Wait, so everything that happened didn't happen?
Well, no, okay, so basically all that really happened was the movies and then the Clone Wars TV show. That's like all that's actually real, and there are like thousands of books and games and shit that just doesn't count now, which pissed a lot of people off when, they bought them. I'm not a fucking crazy person who goes crazy if, like, Luke Skywalker's beard isn't the right kind of facial hair.
Oh, no, you are. John Michael, one time I walked into the room and I saw you throwing shit on the wall, and I said, "What's wrong with you?" And you said they changed Luke Skywalker's beard. And then I called the hospital and they said...
Alright, that was one time.
They said, "We don't know what to do with him. This is a repeat offender." It was not one time.
Listen.
Can you save yourself?
Fuck you.
I'm sorry, did I interrupt your nerding out?
No.
Okay.
I wasn't really nerding. I was just... Disney doesn't... It's just the fact that Disney doesn't really care about making quality entertainment that much.
Flamed.
They just kind of focus on what makes them the most money.
Exactly.
And the annoying thing about it is they don't make bad... Everything they make is consistently solid. But they never really... Except for their own movies. With their own movies, they'll go out of their way to, like, make it good. But with, like, their Marvel movies especially, and this is why I really hate the whole Marvel movie thing.
Me too.
All of their movies are practically the same. It's of consistent quality, but none of them ever, like, try to do anything different.
Yeah.
Except, I watched Thor Ragnarok, and that movie was fucking hilarious, because it didn't take itself seriously like every single one does.
How do you figure they got away with doing that? Because that, I hear, changed, like, the formula so much.
Thor Ragnarok?
Yeah.
Because the first two Thor movies were really boring and really bad, and nobody liked them. So they're like, well... with this we can try something different. And they also had the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, which they're like, I'm not too big a fan of them. They're kind of the same as the other Marvel movies, but they're definitely a lot more comedy based. So they figured if it worked for that, it worked for Thor. So that's pretty much how they got away with that.
Yeah.
And it's funny too, because stuff actually happens in that movie. Like, I think like the entirety of Asgard, which is like Thor's homeworld or whatever, or realm or whatever, just gets completely destroyed.
That's rough.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, everything Disney puts out is kind of muddled and a mess and the same and it's really safe and they do it and they make money and yes, and fucking, you ever think about how nothing could be real?
That's what you're gonna jump to? That's how you're gonna change that subject, going into that philosophy?
Oh, well,
like,
yeah,
you're drastically changing the subject? Because I was gonna... listen, I was gonna do the same thing, but I was gonna talk about the missile attacks on Damascus.
You were gonna talk about
Damascus
that
or whatever,
here?
or Syria, yeah.
Dude,
you're
listen,
talking about philosophy.
I've had enough of that. Okay.
Okay.
Listen. So, because you said that Disney took everything that happened and made it, like, not canon and just said it didn't exist anymore. And that immediately made me think of how you can change people's minds. I think maybe you can do that. I don't know. I have never done it. But there's so much stuff of what is real and nobody really knows the answer, so I don't know why we keep asking it. You know, you can touch the microphone, you can stroke it up and down, but like...
I would like to point out that he did indeed just jack off the microphone.
You couldn't hear my fingers. But like, what is reality? And it makes me sound like a fucking dumbass in honors religion which is a class, in honors religion whenever I open my mouth, because everyone goes, well, what do you mean nothing is real? And I go, I don't know. I think it's Because immediately you become a lazy philosopher, which is like, okay, sorry. But yeah, because people always like to ask questions and know the answer to everything so that they think they can sound smart. But really, one day you wake up and something's one way and the next day it could be different. You don't know. I mean, except for things that you think can't be like that. I'm not making sense. Please take over.
Here on Yamtalk,
I forgot that's what this podcast was called.
we ask the serious questions, such as, are we really here?
I don't know.
Why are we here?
I don't think you're really here.
What is our purpose in being here?
I think you're still driving to my house as we
What's
speak.
in my pussy? Should we go ahead? I'm gonna assume that we'll use that as the segue into the Devil and Drake story, because that you knew that was gonna come into play at some point.
That let's go.
This is gonna be like, we're an hour in. This will probably take up a good another half hour.
Oh yeah, this can be the wrap up. Egg. Imagine somebody's on their deathbed, and then a nurse comes in. What would you like to eat? Egg. We're out. Egg machine broke.
We got a yam machine though.
Yam. What were we talking about? Drevel and Dake? That's not correct. Okay. Should I tell a story? Should you tell a story? You were the cameraman for most of it.
I was the cameraman.
So
I was a shitty cameraman though.
You got the job done.
At least Eric. Oh shit!
Couldn't even fall out of a
We weren't allowed
tree.
to name drop.
I can
people.
censor it. A minute and an hour. I mean, an hour, a minute, 13 seconds. I think is where. Yeah, I need to keep all these times in my head because there was.
That's when we first started talking.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, when we first became good old friends.
That's how we met. When I put on a beard made out of mascara, ran around in the park for a couple minutes, shot a video.
I
for
recorded
lit
him
class.
falling out of a tree 19 times.
Yeah.
Or is Eric the one that fell? Fuck.
Oh no. What's his name was the one who fell.
Lil Rico.
Dude, we should tag their SoundCloud. They have
We'll
one.
tag him in our. Yeah, we'll tag him in the sound. We'll tag his.
We'll
SoundCloud.
get clout.
Give him some revenue.
Mm-hmm.
Do
Do you think they make money off that? Do they? I don't know. I'm gonna stop talking about it. So
next week on Yam Talk, our mixtape.
yes.
Anyway, so
The setting: a literature class at a Catholic high school in the United States, and the teacher says to her, I think there was like 13 of us. She goes, "You guys," because we read The Devil and Tom Walker, which was like classic fucking devil literature. I love it. So she went, "You're gonna make a project now. Either you can do a brochure, which was lame." Or you can do, and she said like nobody had ever done this before this year. She said you could make a video. And so it was a row of John Michael was in front of me, I was in the middle, and this other girl was behind me. And then I had a friend immediately to my left. And I said to the two of them, I said, "Do you want to be in a group? Because I want to make a video. Because I like making videos." And they both said, "Sure." So then went over my house, went to the park, came up with a plot, and the plot was plot and synopsis Wikipedia page go. The plot was Drake is a musician and he wants to be rich and famous, but he already is rich and famous, but he wants to be more rich and famous. so he strikes a deal with the devil and fucking makes him even more rich and famous. But here's the twist. He can become more rich and famous, and this was 2015, so this is when Hotline Bling just came out. And he said, "You can be rich and famous, but you're going to make the most embarrassing music video ever, and everyone's going to laugh at you." But he says that after he signs the contract. So Drake signs the contract, and then the devil says, "There's only one catch. Everyone's going to laugh at you now." And do you remember the way, like my face when I looked at him, and then you just started bursting out laughing behind the camera? It was silly, but yeah. And then so then we had to like shoot a fake Hotline Bling music video, with
So we didn't have any women, right?
yeah, no, because women aren't real.
Yeah, vaginas don't exist.
Yeah.
So for makeshift women, we took some notebook paper, drew eyes and a mouth on some, and taped them to yoga balls.
It was very Ed, Ed and Eddie.
Yes.
I realized that now I thought
It
about
really
it.
was. Even the shape of the yoga balls were,
Yeah.
created like the body shape of that Ed and Eddie.
I can imagine Eddie being the one dressing up as Drake, and then Double D and Ed are doing the yoga ball thing, and then Ed's the one who fucking... This bitch sitting to my right currently, he started a yoga ball fight with the other kid we were filming with. He hit him, the other kid hit him back, and they kept smacking each other, and then you punted a yoga ball across my basement and knocked a glass off the table and broke it. It was funny. Yeah, and I think, did we get graded on that?
But yeah, I'm pretty sure we got like
We got the highest mark. We got an A.
highest mark.
I think we got an A.
We definitely got an A.
We got an A.
Dude,
and
we were literally we got an A.
that was my favorite class.
And
Sophomore
the
year.
best part about it though was the bloopers.
Oh yeah, because there was the several outtakes of trying to get this guy to fall out of a tree, and then there was...
So I'm gonna explain the
Yeah, you
our
can take
iconic
this
in joke.
one. Yeah.
So it was I believe if I remember correctly, Adam was laying on the couch because what was supposed to be happening in the scene was that he was supposed to be getting a phone call from the director of the music video, kind of about like, shooting it or whatever.
Yes.
So, Adam was laying on the couch and I was like recording like on the floor right in front of him, recording him. So, he his phone would ring and he'd answer it, blah blah blah. So, we get the other kid, the third guy in this operation, is at the computer, just doing stuff on the computer. And he was just at one point he ended up on a porn website. So the line Adam was supposed to say was, "I got one question for you, Mr. Director." So it took us forever to get the line right, and then finally he says the line, "I got one question for you, Mr. Director," and then all you hear really loud from the computer is, "What's in my pussy?"
And it made history.
It literally made history.
Among
You still have
three
the
people.
footage of that, right?
Hell yeah! It's somewhere deep in the bowels of my computer. I'll have to fish it out one of these
God.
days. But yeah, it's here. It's in the presence of us. Maybe if we hold a seance, the clip will come to us. Do you believe in ghosts?
No. No.
Me either.
I don't think you can really. Yeah, no.
That was quick. Do you think we should wrap this up?
I think ghosts are fun though. Like ghosts, I always wanted to go to a haunted house.
Yeah.
Like an actual house that's legendarily supposed to be haunted. Like there's one mansion somewhere that tourists go through.
Is it near here?
No, it's like in Ireland or something.
Fucking shit.
We could, I don't know. There's abandoned houses around this area, isn't there?
There's
we could go in
abandoned
the
houses.
park in the middle of the night.
There's no ghosts in there though. I'll tell you what.
In the
There's
abandoned houses.
a lot of meth
just
and
crack addicts.
meth and raccoons is what you'll find there.
Hey,
Meth, raccoon, and dogs.
hey, stop that. Do you think that dog's barking is gonna come up? I bet you that's a ghost.
Probably.
Actually, I bet you that's Shel Silverstein.
Oh my god. I think that might be a sign to.
You just look out your window and you see Shel Silverstein.
Oh my
sitting-
god! Don't even say that. That's gonna put images in my head. That's so scary. Holy fuck. Okay. Okay. So what's our contingency plan if we're sleeping here and we hear a tap 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 on the window? And you look up and it's Shel Silverstein.
We both we say the ritualistic chant. Do you know what the ritualistic chant is?
No, I don't.
The ritualistic chant is Swa ki Walenga
Jizz.
fuck off Shel Silverstein.
Jizz.
There's that fucking dog again.
Jizz. I think that's a sign we should end
That's
this.
definitely Shel Silverstein. Are
Yeah.
you ready to end this?
I'm ready to end it.
All right, so I guess that wraps up our first episode of Yamtalk.
We talked about EMs a total of 2 times.
Um,
That's great.
This was, I don't know. We're probably gonna do a second one of these, right?
I'll do it if you want to do it.
Yeah, I don't know when. We'd have to find. I don't know when.
What do you? Okay.
We
we'll
could do it
discuss
during.
later.
We could doing. I don't work on Wednesday. We could do it during the day on Wednesday.
During the day.
I mean, maybe not. I don't know. That's all I got.
Okay, well, we'll figure it out
Yeah,
later.
we'll figure it out.
You guys don't get to hear our plans. I'm
Nope.
sorry.
We're gonna surprise you. We'll show up in 3 years, probably.
For episode 2.
Special guest, Shel Silverstein.
You don't know it, but this episode actually took 3 years to record. We've been working on
Yeah,
this.
we've actually been working on this. I've been locked in his house for roughly 3 years.
And-
I miss my wife and daughter.
Immediately after we finished recording The Devil and Drake, I said, all right, you're not leaving. Filming.
Filming Yam.
Yeah.
Next
filming
week, we're
Yam.
just going to pretty much record 30 hours of a Yam.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
down for that. I have all the time. This has been Yamtalk.
episode 1.
This has been
Episode 1 of Yamtalk.
a podcast by Yam lovers.
Wait. 4 Yam lovers.
Thank you.
Deuces.
Doucheland.